Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Patton, one of the guidance counselors in the high school guidance office, and I'm here to present week 3 of the Junior Future Planning curriculum. You've already learned a little bit about Naviance and standardized testing. Today, we're going to talk about application terminology and the common application. Before we get started, I want to remind you of the guidance counselor assignments. You can see the alphabetical breakdown below, so you can be sure to know who your guidance counselor is. Application deadlines. There are 4 main deadlines that you may come across. The first is early decision. So, this application deadline is a binding agreement between the student applying and the college. Essentially, the student is letting that college know through a contract they sign upon uh, at the same time that they're applying to the college, saying that this college is their first choice, and if admitted, they will be attending. Typical early decision deadlines are in October, November, or December, with November 1st or November 15th being the most common. Typically, students will hear back by mid December. Early action, on the other hand, is a non binding application deadline with similar deadlines to early decision, such as October, November, and December. Early action applicants will hear back in mid December as well. However, they are not making a binding commitment to a college they're applying early action to. In fact, they don't need to let the college know if they plan to attend or not until May 1st. So, it is possible for students to apply to multiple early action schools. An advantage is that you get to hear back early and then have an opportunity to apply to additional schools' regular decision if you're not happy with the outcome. Early decision can be a great option for students and families if they feel like they have a true first choice. A downside to early decision is that you don't get an opportunity to review financial aid packages. So, if that is part of the process for you, early decision may not be the best option. So, in addition to these early options for deadlines, there is regular decision. So, regular decision is also non binding. Typically, those deadlines are in January or February, with the decision coming back to you in mid March or April. And again, just like early action, you don't have to make a commitment either way until May 1st. Rolling admission is another non binding option where applications are processed as they are received. So typically, you hear back within 2 to 8 weeks after applying, but again, do not have to make a commitment either way until May 1st. So these are the type of deadlines that you see. I encourage you to talk with your guidance counselor about the deadlines to try to make a decision about what makes sense for you. Students who apply early action or early decision oftentimes feel like they have their applications in a good place by September or in October. They don't feel like they need more time to continue working on the essay. They feel like their grades are a pretty accurate representation of who they are and how they've been doing. Some students try to apply a regular decision or opt to apply regular decision if they feel like they want their first semester of senior year grades to be shared. Maybe they didn't do so well in one of the other years in the past, and they feel like they want to have some strong senior year grades to send as part of their application. So again, definitely check in with your guidance counselor and figure out which deadline makes sense for you. Creating a balanced list. So, when we talk about what it means for a list to be balanced, we're talking about reaches, fits, or matches, and likelies or safeties. So, I'll talk a little bit about what each of those terms mean. When we talk about a fit or a match school, a college is considered a fit if the student's GPA and SAT or ACT scores are within the average for that college. So essentially, we want students to be creating a list where the majority of schools are in that fit or match range. When you apply to a school that it's a fit college, there's a pretty good chance that if you end up attending that school, it's going to be a good academic fit for you. And on the other hand, the colleges are looking for students who have application or excuse me academic credentials like yours. So essentially you're most likely a good fit for that college and they're a good fit for you. So focusing in on those fits are important. That being said, we absolutely support students applying to a REACH college or two. So, a college is considered a REACH if your GPA and SAT or ACT score are below the average for that college. Again, absolutely fine to apply to a REACH. You just want to make sure that all of the colleges on your list are not in that REACH category. And then the last term we'll talk about is a likely or a safety school. So this means that your GPA and test scores are above the average for that college. We recommend that every student apply to at least one or two likely schools because ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that students and families have multiple options to choose from. So, again, making sure that you have the majority of the colleges on your list in that fit category, one or two likelies, and certainly if you want to apply to a REACH school or two, that's absolutely fine too. The biggest piece of advice I give to students and families is to love every college on your list, including your likelies, because you might end up attending your likely school. If you love every college on your list and you've created a balanced list, you really can't go wrong. I do want to point out again the scattergram visual here, over here in the bottom right, that Mrs. Lodge had talked about. So that's an option in Naviance to take a look at. As you're building your college list, you'll want to be looking at the scattergram graphs to get a sense of whether a college is a fit, reach, or likely for you. If you're looking at the scattergram graphs for the colleges on your list and your data point is down here, that's an indication that your list is reach heavy. If you're finding that you're kind of falling right in the middle here of all of the admitted applicants, that means that your school is a fit. And if you're finding that you're up here, then that school is going to be a likely. So again, you kind of want to make sure you're kind of right in the middle here of all the applicants who are admitted. Types of applications. So there are four main types. The first one is the common application, which is, as it sounds, the most common application. So it's essentially an online application where students will create their own account. They'll fill out the application and it'll be shared with multiple schools that they're applying to. We'll look at the common application in just a few minutes. In addition to the common application, there is an option called the coalition application. So this is very similar to Common App. Fewer schools will use the coalition. There's about 150 that use this application option. A lot of schools will let students apply using Common App or coalition. So if that's the case, we usually recommend you use the Common App just because it's likely that most of your schools are going to be using Common App. There are three specific schools that use only the coalition, and that is Virginia Tech, the University of Florida, and the University of Washington. In addition to Common App and the coalition, there are some colleges that have their very own college-specific application. You can find out what type of application your college that you're applying to uses by going to the admissions page on their website, and it should be posted very clearly as to whether or not they use the common application, the coalition, or their own college specific. There's also this option to apply through a VIP or a fast track application. So some students will receive an email with a link inviting you to apply, and perhaps the application fee is waived or the letters of recommendation you don't have to submit, or maybe you don't have to submit the essay. It is absolutely fine to apply through this type of application, but it's important to know that admission is not guaranteed. Sometimes colleges will send out these special links if a student has, let's say, visited the college, or maybe they went to a college fair and filled out an interest card or something like that. Oftentimes they're just trying to drive more applicants toward their school. Again, absolutely fine to apply. Again, it's oftentimes the application fee is waived, so go ahead, we support that. But if you don't receive one of these, don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. And again, if you do apply through a VIP or fast track, admission is not guaranteed. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and give you all a preview of the common application so you know what to expect. So students can make a common application account by going to commonapp.org. Once they create their account, this is what they'll see. So you can see there's all these tabs at the top here, and we'll take a look at the Common App tab. So in this section of the application, it will ask general information about the student: name, address, family information, where they went to high school, what their test scores are, if they're choosing to share them. And then the last two sections are the activities and the writing section. And these two sections take a little bit more time and thought. So we'll take a look at activities. So in the activities section, students can write about what they do outside of the classroom. This can range from anything from working at Dunkin' Donuts to playing a sport to a hobby they have, volunteering, or family responsibilities. I think this is really important because there are a lot of students who have a lot of responsibilities at home. Maybe they care for their sibling or they're in charge of doing a lot of the housework and expectations. Really, wherever you're spending your time is something that you'll want to highlight on in the activity section. So you can scroll down and add your activity where you can describe it, indicate the grade levels you participated, whether it's during the school year, how big of a time commitment it is, and so on. The writing section is where students share their college essay or their personal statement. So if you scroll down in this section, you can see the different writing prompts offered here, with the last prompt being share an essay on a topic of your choice. This can be a little bit overwhelming to students. They're not always comfortable with writing about themselves. It's hard to write about yourself and your personality. So this is definitely a project that we encourage students to take a look at this summer before senior year, so they have at least some kind of a draft ready to go at the beginning of senior year. I'll show you a resource about how to get started with that in a little bit. So once you fill out this Common App section, or even before you fill this out, you can actually add colleges to your Common App account. So if we click on the college search section, and let's say you want to apply to Assumption College, you can enter that here. You can see it pops up here, Assumption University. If you click it, it's now added to your Common App account. So I'm going to navigate over to Dashboard. You can see Assumption University is listed here, as well as some other colleges that I previously added. What's great about the dashboard is it really helps you to organize. So you can sort by college name or deadline date. I would recommend sorting by deadline date so you get a sense of which deadline is coming up next. So if we sort it, you can see that for this particular student, they have a college deadline coming up on January 2nd, the next February 1st, the next February 5th. What's also really helpful is this gives you a really quick sense of if any of your colleges have an additional writing supplement. So some colleges, in addition to the personal statement, will ask for some short answer writing supplements. So you can see Dartmouth College has a writing supplement as an option. If you click on Show More Details, you can scroll down to the writing section and see that in addition to the personal statement, there are 2 required questions as part of a writing supplement. That's a good thing to take note of so that as you are sending in your applications, you're not surprised by an additional essay. So those are some of the features of Common App. I'll show you one more tab here, My Colleges, where you can see all your colleges listed. And if you click on each of them, you can see some college-specific questions. So some of the colleges may have general questions like, are you interested in living on or off campus? Are there certain majors you're interested in? And then certainly if you have a college with a writing supplement like Dartmouth does, this is where you would find the supplement and answer those questions. So that's a little bit about Common App. This is a great thing to start working on this summer before senior year. The writing supplement questions for the colleges will not be confirmed typically until August 1st, but you can certainly start your application and then the updated questions will be posted August 1st for you to continue. You do not need to go home and start your Common App today. This is a good thing to do toward the end of junior year and the summer before senior year. I'm going to show you one other resource that I really like. So if you go to commonapp.org and you go over to support your students and then Common App Ready Toolkit, we click here and you scroll down, you can see these different topics here, like getting started, and then it gives you these little PDFs with quick how-tos. If you keep scrolling down, you can go to the Telling Your Story section. And I really love these two features here that give you a good opportunity to kind of learn about how to write about your activities and how to approach the essay. So if we open up the How to Approach the Essay brainstorming sheet, it will look like this. So you can see the prompts to the different essays are on the left here. And then it gives you some ideas to think about if you would like to use this prompt and some things to ask yourself. So these are just really good reflection questions. If you're having trouble figuring out which prompt you should answer, I encourage you to read through this document and just try to get a sense of where, what you're able to reflect on most and which question really fits your needs best. So definitely take a look at this. There's a lot of other great PDFs and how-tos that you can look at on the commonapp.org website if you want to take a look. So that is it for session 3. Hopefully that gets you a little bit more familiar with some of the terminology and gives you a better sense of what the common application looks like. Certainly reach out to your guidance counselor if you have any questions. And we look forward to checking in with you again next week with the next topic. Thanks so much.